And we're live. Hey, this is Kyle McMurray and
Robin Colner
from the Ad Man and Robin Show, where in the next 10 minutes, we're going to give you an actionable tip.
Really?
Well,
Has this
something like
ever
that.
happened to you? You get up, you look at your emails, and you're so excited. And what happens? 10 or 15 of them say, "Dear Robin, you don't know me, but I'm great at what I do, and I want you to give me all your money to manage, and let's set up a time to talk later this week." Has that ever happened to you?
Or have you been on the other side of that? Have you been the person who had to pick up the phone and make a cold call and the phone felt like it weighed 500 pounds? Or, and if you finally got to the person that you wanted to, they treated you like you were an annoying gnat, like they couldn't wait to get rid of you, and you felt dirty and cheap when you hung up the phone.
In the next 10 minutes, we are going to share with you a better way to use social media to sell and not do something that makes people feel like you're a net that they want to squish out. And we're going to share with you a process and even if a tool. That tool, especially if you're using LinkedIn and you're in the service provider sector, there is a tool built in that we're going to show you at the end that actually grades you on how well you're doing.
Yeah, they've been watching you. So you want to make sure you stay tuned for that. We've also got what we call the yellow brick road kind of way of selling. And then we've got a mindset. The best mindset that we've been able to find that actually will help you to think about how you're going to do this and create a strategy around selling on social media. And then finally, we've got kind of a sanity check. We've got a question that you need to ask yourself before you take an action that will help keep you in line, keep you on track, and keep you from becoming that annoying pest. But first, is it even possible to sell online? Socially.
It is possible to sell. You want to show the stats? We're going
Sure.
to pull up a slide. But for those of you that aren't looking at the slide, just know that 90% of all people turn to the internet first when they are making a purchasing decision. And this isn't just for TV sets, it's for services as well. And over 75% of those people actually say that social media influenced their decision. So if you are anxious to figure out how to sell properly online and meet even a sales quota, if you're in that arena, and many of you are, then it's important for you to pay attention to what we know is a process that works.
All right, so let's walk through this process. What is this yellow brick road? Well, the best way to think about this is to think as to the mindset that we want you to adopt is dating. If you were interested in somebody, okay? So think about it, you're interested in dating, or if you were selling a service and you're at a networking event and you spy your perfect prospect across the room. What would be the process that you would go from introducing yourself to that person, and whether you were attracted to them or you were with them as a customer, in the next 30 days, how would you turn them into a paying customer or turn them to somebody you're in a relationship with? What would be those steps? And there are steps, right? There have been people who have studied this. But let me give you just a quick example because we only got a few minutes to do this. So there's a man named John Assaraf who is a wonderful coach. He's actually one of my coaches. And he actually has a process. And I'll just show you a real quick process that he does. He has a book called Inner Size. Now, from Inner Size, you buy the book. He gives you some exercise in that book to improve your mindset so you can accomplish your business goals. Well, he also has, as an additional thing to that book, a download. So you can get the exercises downloaded so you can listen to them, not have to be looking at the book back and forth, and just have these messages sort of wash over you, right? But to do that, you have to give him your email address. Once he has that, he sends you some emails, so you builds up some know, like, and trust. But within a week or so, he invites you to a webinar where he takes you to the next level in his sales system, which is what he calls the inner game of business or mindset. I don't remember which one it is. But in other words,
Wait a minute. I get this if you're trying to buy those info services online, but that's not all of our customers, and that certainly isn't our clients.
all right, so give me another business.
What about a real estate agent, for example? They don't want to kind of get people that way. What can they do?
All right, so you're a real estate agent. What would you do to take somebody to become somebody that didn't know you, a cold prospect, and turn them into a listing or whatever in the next 30 days? Well, what I would do is start thinking, what's on their mind as they start to think of selling their house, right? So the first thing they want to know is, what's the value of their house, right? Right? So couldn't you produce some kind of content that show them, okay, these are the top 3 sites, including Zillow and blah, blah, the other 2 sites that will get your best price that you can expect to get
Okay.
for your home, right? That could be your first step. The next step, you could invite them to get some videos, a series of videos that you had to prepare your home for sale.
Right.
What would be the things that you needed to do? The 17 steps, whatever. From there, you could say, hey, by the way, do you have a house yet that you're going to, once you sell it, that you're going to buy? I have a special list of houses that are off the market. They're not on the market yet, right? So these are homes that have either expired listings that I still have in contact with them, or these people are like you that are getting ready to sell and they're not on the market. No one's competing with these. Get on my list, my secret buyers list, and I will show you how to get these homes for less with no competition.
What you're talking about is really a social selling process. So what I mean by that, or what we mean by that, is really that, number one, what is social selling? That's when you actually produce valuable content that a customer prospect cares about. It answers their need. And it doesn't just have you show off, because we all know how to show off online. I think we perfected that. Okay. But the question is how, okay. But the question is, what can we do for everybody else? Yeah, I am. Okay. So anyway, so social selling is really the value proposition behind create content. And we've talked about this in our other 2 episodes, the kind of content, lead magnets, videos, things that showcase your ability as an expert in the field. And it speaks specifically to the points that are really causing your prospects some pain. And then they begin to know, like, and trust you. And that makes you even better and makes your content work even better online. And then you implement what Kyle is talking about, which is a way to take someone who gets interested in you and take them along to become a real buying customer.
Just like you would with dating, right? If you found an attractive person, you wouldn't just walk up and say, let's get married, let's move in together, or even go away with me for the weekend. All those things are too much, right? You'd ask them for coffee, hopefully first, or get their number so you could ask them to coffee. And then you would do an increasing, right? So as you built the relationship, you could ask more of it, and you could also give more. So it's a give and take, and the stakes go up and up and up, all the way to marriage, right? But you want to start small, and that's what we're doing. We're making content, like Robin's saying, where you're making content that solves a problem on a deeper and deeper level, and ask a bigger and bigger commitment to where you could have somebody eventually do a sales demo, or a sales meeting where you could ask for the sale. And at the same time, you're qualifying. You're making sure that you're not wasting time with them, because people that can't afford your solution won't continue to go with you.
But it is also true that content that you create, and we're going to talk about some of these buckets of content that you can create, works over time. It works in a process and a funnel like you're describing, right, but it also works to elevate a person's reputation over time, so that when they look you up and see the content that you've produced and included in whatever profiles make sense for you, whether it's on Facebook, Instagram, or LinkedIn or Twitter, they can see in a moment that you really know what you're talking about and you're speaking to them. So what are those content buckets?
Well, wait. Let's just go over the quick question before we forget that, because you've got to, when you're doing this, and when you were talking about this, you need to always ask yourself this question: would I do this in real life? So if the person was in front of me, would I do or say this? Right? There's a lot of these online trolls and stuff. They would never do this in real life. They're hiding, right? You don't want to hide. So when you're doing what Robin's saying, when you're creating this content and when you're kind of doling it out over time, always ask yourself this question: would I do this in real life if the person was sitting in front of me? All right, now go.
Okay, because in other words, you don't want to turn somebody off or ask them to give you all their money or tell you that they can build your business for you and they make appointments for you and any number of the 50 emails that I think I've already gotten by 12 o'clock today. And cold phone calls too, because we know that cold calling is a lot harder to be effective today. I was going to unplug my phone just because I can't stand those calls.
Did your phone still plug in? Actually?
Yeah, I still have a landline just to get those spammy phone calls. I mean, I have to have something there. Anyway, what are we going to talk about in terms of content? You going to show them? So content comes in lots of different forms. And I think we know that video is really important, and it can be short form video, can be anything from 15 seconds up to 3 minutes, up to 20 minutes. You can capture attention and know that you can go back and talk to somebody that is a prospect for you. It can really work well to say, you might not have been able to see this, but so even these videos that we're creating, I can send them to a customer prospect later on, even 6 months from now, and say, you know what, you and I are talking about an issue that Kyle and I talked about on the Admin and Robin show. Maybe take a look at this and tell me what you think. So all of this content, ebooks, white papers, case studies, examples, webinar signups, Q&As, instant ask me anythings on live streaming, which can happen in any of the platforms. All of this content can be used again. And certainly infographics, you can talk about that real estate agent you were talking about, Kyle, can use techniques to do this. By use statistics and then put it in a chart and say, this is how the home prices sales have changed.
All right, so now we're at the end. We're up. What is the secret tool? What is this tool that you're actually being graded on this tool, by the way?
Right.
They've been watching you, LinkedIn has, and they've got a little grade for you of how much of an annoying pest you really are. So let's show it real quick.
It's called the Social Selling Index, the SSI, Social Selling Index. You find it on LinkedIn, and it grades you for how well you're producing content on a consistent basis, and people are seeing it, appreciating it, downloading it, or communicating and engaging with it. So this is a perfect way. It's kind of a teacher built in with you. So, and if you want to know more about how to create this process, because it does have a number of steps to it, be sure to reach out to us, especially because we're going to be holding a LinkedIn social selling masterclass. So contact me at rcolner@digistarmedia.com. Contact Kyle at
grownowmarketing.com. Kyle at grownowmarketing.com.
And hope to see you soon.
All right. So that's it for this week. Remember, so you can sell on social. It is super important to sell on social. It beats cold calls to death, right?
You got it.
But you got to do it in the right way. You got to act like a normal, healthy human being would in a kind of a dating relationship if you want to make it work. And remember that question? Would I do this
in real life?
And check your score on the
Social Selling Index.
All right. Till next week. It's Kyle McMurray from Grow Now Marketing and
Robin Colner from Digistar Media.
And this is the Adman and Robin
Show.
Whoa!